Operation Wolf was first released in arcades in 1987 and would end up on the Nintendo Entertainment System by 1989. During my youth, kids were brought up admiring war heroes. Fiction writers who had witnessed the backlash against soldiers coming home after the Vietnam War wanted to paint the soldiers on the ground as real heroes, regardless of what you thought of the politicians behind the wars. It led to resurrections of franchises like G.I. Joe and spawned new action games like Operation Wolf. The game can be played with the zapper, but since I don't have a CRT TV, I was forced to use a controller. You aim the crosshairs around the screen with the D-pad, and fire or throw grenades, or rockets as they're depicted, with the A and B buttons. The game is sort of the granddaddy of on-rails first-person shooters. You play from a first-person perspective, scrolling through a level at a steady pace. You then interact with a digital shooting gallery that lies before you. You can select the speed of your cursor, and although I found some of the faster settings a bit unwieldy, I can imagine that with practice, people out there have probably mastered this game on every setting. Although the game is relatively straightforward, the predictable and scripted nature of the enemy's programming allowed the game to be planned out perfectly. Limiting the number of enemies on the screen at one time could allow for larger, more detailed sprites to come on screen, such as enemies closer to the foreground, or armored vehicles, helicopters, or even boats. Because of the close control of the action happening on the screen at any given time, the game rarely suffers from any slowdowns. Gameplay requires you to shoot your way through enemy encampments to meet an objective. The number of enemies remaining is at the bottom of the screen, along with other information like how many vehicles they have, your ammunition, reloads, and even a number of hostages rescued, if the level has any. The damage bar showing your remaining health goes across the bottom of the screen, and a pulsing sound will beep as your remaining health drops. Graphically, the game has always impressed me, even when I was younger. Although the bad guys may only have a couple of frames of animation, the environments are wonderfully detailed. Buildings, fences, trees in the background, towers, even birds in the sky. You even have to be on the lookout for the occasional medic or civilian so that you don't accidentally commit war crimes. Doing so lowers your health. Unfortunately, although the game has graphics that wowed people in the late 80s, it completely lacks a soundtrack of any kind. Music is a rare commodity in Operation Wolf, reserved for the title screen, the game's opening, the level's remaining screen, and the level clear screen. You only get about 60 seconds of music in the game at all. Levels are filled with shooting sounds, engines, and explosions, but no music. When I talk about the game's opening, it's impressive to see that there are short vignette cutscenes, if you will, scattered throughout the game. They tell an unfolding story. A story which, like many, is first introduced in the instruction manual. In late 80s Taito Games fashion, it's told using a comic. Rescue, Attack Team, Operation Wolf. Location, South American jungle. Situation, terrorists have taken American embassy officials as prisoners. The men of Operation Wolf, the most fearless and skilled personnel the U.S. Armed Forces have to offer, approach the area believed to be the center of the terrorist camp. They haven't spotted them yet. Alright men, Team J should have the explosives in place and ready to blow their communications tower sky high. Get ready to go. Chopper 1 lands and Operation Wolf greets the enemy with a hail of fire. Fire your way through, men. We've got to make it before this place blows. One terrorist installment after another is blown to bits by timed explosives planted by the pre-attack team. These fireworks should keep the creeps busy while we round up the prisoners. Kaboom! I'm sorry. As the front gate of the camp is blasted through, the men of Operation Wolf work to steer the prisoners to the waiting escape chopper. Go, go, go! Get on board the chopper as fast as you can! Everybody up and in! Hurry, hurry! Don't trip, don't push, just move fast! As the prisoners board the chopper, the terrorists come from all directions, their heavy guns spitting out a non-stop wave of bullets. We'll keep them back long enough to get everybody on board. Yes, according to the comic in the manual, unnamed jungle terrorists somewhere in South America have taken American embassy officials hostage, and it's up to your covert team of special ops warriors to free them in a mission codenamed Operation Wolf. The game itself has an opening showing you parachuting into danger, and the first level, the Communications Center, offers a quick description of the task at hand, then sends you on your way. Once you reach the end of the level, you are rewarded by an in-game advancement of the story, showing you taking out the communications tower. Then you trek deeper into the jungle, and on the next mission, you coerce the location of the prison camp out of an enemy soldier. Operation Wolf is one of a handful of NES games ported from arcade titles that actually brings an exciting story to life. Not just by telling you some details in the instruction manual, but by actually giving specific objectives and having a story unfold throughout the game itself, often in very comic book-like still-frame boxes, continuing the motif from the instruction booklet. Unlike most arcade games that were simply about high score, this rare breed of storytelling within the game made Operation Wolf a standout classic. And the game is never as cut and dry as it appears, as other things, like what feels like a random encounter, will occasionally interrupt the flow of the story you thought you were getting. Kids today might have Call of Duty Black Ops, but if you wanted to feel like a Special Operations badass kid in the 1980s, you had one clear winner to pick: Operation Wolf. Just don't sustain a lethal injury, or else you won't be able to finish our story so far. Hey everyone out there, thanks for watching episode number 30 of Our Story So Far TV. I'm Garrett. You can find me over on Twitter at NewAngel, that's NUANGEL. If you want to check out more episodes, visit the rest of the channel, or just visit ourstorysofar.tv. Episodes release every other Friday, so come back in 2 weeks to check out the latest. Until next time, take care of yourself.